All right, here we go.
This podcast is part of the Batman Universe Podcast Network, hosted by the BatmanUniverse.net. Check out everything related to Batman and the entire Bat family at the BatmanUniverse.net, including news and original content related to comics, movies, television, merchandise, video games, and more. Also, check out some of the other unique podcasts that TBU has to offer. Consider supporting this podcast by becoming a patron on Patreon. Even $1 can go a long way in supporting this content that you enjoy. Look for a link over at thebatmanuniverse.net to offer your support now. And now, on with the show.
This is Ron V, and you're listening to the Batman Universe Podcast.
This is Dan Mora. Just wanted to say hi to the Batman Universe Comic Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Batman Universe Comics Podcast, Season 15, Episode 8. I'm your host, Ian.
And konnichiwa, this is Steffu.
She's back.
I'm back.
How can you compete with that? So,
And that was Theo.
And today we're going to be covering Detective Comics and a bunch of Greater Gotham and a bunch of your comments. We actually had a really good discussion this week, so I'm looking forward to it all. But first, a little bit of news. Night Terror's solicitations released since we last did our episode, and there's a bunch of 2-issue miniseries. So for those who have been around since 2015, this is sort of like Convergence, when nearly every series was either replaced or just new series were started with a 2-issue miniseries from July to August. This is also sort of similar to Future State, but there's a lot more crossover between the teams that are writing like the books. For example, like Green Lantern is going to have the same writer, and Harley Quinn and Catwoman are going to have the same writer, but they're all going to be part of this event. And unlike Future State, there's going to be a main series, which is going to have probably 6 issues. There's 7 issues. So there's a Free Comic Book Day issue, there's like a First Blood issue or something, and then there's a 4-issue miniseries every 2 weeks, and then there's probably going to be a beta issue. So that's 7 issues total. I don't understand why they don't just do 1 through 7. Do they think they're not going to get more people? I want to know the math on these numbers, please. But let's hear what my co-hosts think about these many miniseries, as long as they're connected to the Batman Universe, because this is the Batman Universe Comic Podcast.
True. So I'm not a big fan of horror in general, so they all look really gross and upsetting. Batman Beyond Neo Gothic looks good. That's not part of the Nightmare series, but whatever.
I'm surprised that's an ongoing.
Yeah, is it?
It doesn't say miniseries.
It doesn't say one of blank. That's weird.
Exactly.
I don't know.
it's supposed to be a follow-up to Neo Year. So
Exactly.
I think it is a mini.
It would make sense, but it doesn't say it.
Or
Maybe the mini is just a reboot to redo the status quo of the universe, maybe.
Or maybe they're going the route of Marvel and just not announcing it as mini and maxi.
Oh man, that
series.
would piss me off so much. I hate that strategy.
I don't know. None of the new stuff looks exciting, and I'm just looking forward to Dark Knights of Steel and Batman Incorporated, because it looks like Batman versus Jonah Hex or something.
I myself am here for Angel Breaker.
No!
I know, right?
No!
Shirtless lady must have her own miniseries.
I wonder how they came up with who were each getting one of these minis, because some of them are just out of nowhere. I would have never thought they would have wanted to include just Zatanna. Now, you could say her and the whole Justice League dark and have all of them together, even though they're on the covers. That's one thing. I don't know.
I'm not weirded out, but it's odd that Ravenger's getting her own.
Yeah,
Apparently, it's tying into the Brave and the Bold story that Ed Brisson is doing. I really like Ravager, so I'm kind of excited about that.
Yeah, no, I like her too. Yeah.
It is odd. I agree. And then I talked to Tim Seeley about Angel Breaker. He couldn't tell me it was Angel Breaker, but he did let me know that it was a sequel to Nightwing, and we see that because it has Raptor from his Nightwing run. I'm also just really amused that No Shirt Girl from Shadow War is getting her own miniseries, even though she was in the worst story of that stupid anthology they did.
She was the best part of that worst story.
I mean, yes, but still, that story was so underwhelming. I was like, why is No Shirt Girl so boring?
She doesn't have a shirt. She doesn't need to be interesting.
I needed her to have more interest, okay?
That's a female and she gets it. There you go, Steph.
I wanted more. I'm actually really excited about Detective Comics, which is written by Dan Waters, and he's the guy who did the Azrael miniseries, which I really, really liked. And so, plus, it's about Jim Gordon and Barbara Gordon, and they're fighting like a possessed version of the Bat Robot. So for a super heavy fan like me, this is like heaven.
But didn't he do a few either tech backups or Batman backups that were just terrible? I'm trying to. I want to say they were.
He did the Arkham Asylum series. I don't think he did backups. Maybe he did.
I think he did, because I think I remember reviewing it when I was on tech.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Oh, I don't remember that at all. Let me take a look. All right, let's see. What's your comics? Oh, he did an Aquaman story. Oh, he did Urban Legend. Oh, but that would be the Azrael story, because that was that started in one of the only good things in Urban Legends. Don't rest in peace. Go away. I don't want you back at all. Okay, so he does have. Okay,
he did.
Oh, that's weird.
He did one in Wait, did he do one? He did one in Detective.
Yeah, it looks like he did.
He did the Detective.
A backup about. Oh, he did the backup about Man-Bat.
Oh,
where Man-Bat died, and then he just came right back to life in the Task Force Z.
Task Force Z.
I don't know. I definitely didn't love those backups, but I wasn't mad about them. Oh, that's what that boy's name is. It's Sorrow. That's so weird.
Who?
The boy?
Yeah.
No,
the boy's name is Sorrow.
I thought you said that's what they just call him.
I mean, we don't have anything else to call him unless you want to. I mean, I kept calling him Jim Gordon's boy, which sounds super bad.
I just kept calling him Nero.
He should be. He should be. Any other things you're interested? Oh, the Batgirls creative team is writing the Nightwing issue, and the Batgirls are going to appear in the Nightwing Night Terrors miniseries.
Oh, God.
So I am actually excited about that. As you know, I am an enjoyer of that series.
Just from the cover, the Joker one looks interesting because it's like, what would Joker hate? He would hate being a normie, and that would be an interesting concept. Maybe, I don't know, possibly, never.
Possibly, except that Zdarsky's doing that in his Batman story.
Is he? Oh, yeah, I get.
Yeah, Red Mask is the Joker.
That's not a normie. That's just a different
but he's
weirdo.
Not the Joker.
I will give it to him.
Interpretations of normal.
Even though I'm not excited or interested in everything the covers for some of these stories look. And I'm not just talking about the midnight covers, which are probably the best for all of them.
Those are great.
But
those midnight covers are great.
But just some of the covers are so nice. I mean, some of them look like homage covers as well.
What kind of covers?
Homage covers, where you know they give homage to another cover from the past.
Oh, homage! I get it.
Homage.
Okay.
Homage.
Yeah. My favorite homage is when they do that Justice League International thing with all the guys crossing their arms and looking up with a sassy expression on their face.
That's my favorite cover because Guy is front and center.
Yeah, baby. There's so many homages to that one. That was kind of funny.
Doesn't compare to the homages for to Spider-Man. God, they're everywhere.
Now, but here's a question. We're all talking about like the miniseries. Are any of us actually interested in the main series?
I am wondering if I could get through the main series without reading any of these. Because there's going to be some I literally will not pick up.
The Catwoman one is offensively horrible looking. Like, that is...
Well, it's Teenie Howard, so I don't really expect it to be anything but terrible.
It's like tentacle porn. It's so...
Oh,
gross.
I remember that now.
Hold on, I gotta find it again.
Somebody was reading too much hentai.
No, I don't read it. That's why I know not to avoid it.
Man,
No. I'm talking about the people who
Oh, the people who did it? Yeah.
Yes.
Perverts.
The Poison Ivy ones are scary pretty.
The Harley one?
No,
What was
the Ivy one where they all look like
Willow Wilson's.
Oh, I thought that was the Harley one.
No, the Harley ones are further down. Why the hell is a snake biting on Selena's lip?
It's so messed up.
I mean, how would I know any of these things?
Are they calling her a snake in the grass or something? And why is she dancing with the
Snake in the grass.
Oh yeah,
I like the Harley ones. Those at least look like a nightmare and not disgusting.
I don't like the Catwoman ones.
No, I don't like to. No.
The Zatanna one freaks me out. Well, the Midnight Zatanna one, because she's holding her own head, and that just kind of freaks me out.
It's like
I have not even seen Wizard of Oz 1.
What? Yeah, it's not. It's yeah.
I read the books. I read like 7 of the books, and I quite like them. But like, I just didn't feel the need to see the movie, especially since the comic series by Scotty Young is so good. But we are way off of anything Batman related. I apologize. Any last thoughts on Night Terror's
Midnight covers are wonderful. That's all I'm going to say. The Midnight covers are the bomb. And it's nice
they are the bomb.com.
And it's nice that Dustin Nguyen is doing most, if not all of them.
It's like 20 covers. He's like a machine.
Yeah, because he did the one for Joker, but I thought I saw one he wasn't doing. No, like
really? I thought he was doing all the Midnights.
Yeah, I think he's doing all the Midnight covers.
Yeah, that'll be great. Anyone who collects all those Midnight covers, yeah, my hat's off to you.
Those aren't incentive covers, are they?
No, well, they're not listed as incentive. Usually they have to say if they're incentive. So I think they're just open to order.
Yeah, they're just...
That is kind of tempting.
How do you know which one's a Midnight cover? Is it just... Are they listed in order?
Yes,
the ones that are just black and red.
It's the black and red ones. I actually like the so right now I actually like the Nightwing and the Robin one. The Robin one looks really nice.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Robin. It's going to be a Tim and Jason team up book, so that'll be kind of fun.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah, which is odd because the Midnight cover is just Tim. I would have tried to include Jason. That's just me.
That is odd. I don't know. I don't know what goes into the editor's thought process. They're often just like... Often they have to make the cover based on the pitch, so the comic isn't done, so they don't really know what it's going to be like.
Yeah, if anything, the Midnight covers are the best. I can't... If I was to pick up stuff, it would be that.
Yeah, I'm definitely picking up. As I said, I think I'm going to try and collect about 4 of these guys because the concepts and the teams look interesting enough for me to go for.
Oh my god, the Titans one look awesome. Look at the Titans one.
Who's doing that? Is that Taylor?
No, the Midnight cover.
Oh, I think I saw that.
That was really nice.
Yeah. Okay, so we will move on to our review for Detective Comics number 1071. This is written by Ram V, and we have 3 artists, Stefano Raphael, Ivan Reis, and Eduardo Pensica. Batman radios Oracle as the Orgum Place grand opening starts, saying that what he learned from Talia has accelerated his plans. Nightwing and Cassandra Cain Batgirl flank Bruce, and he sends Dick to Overwatch and Cass underground, going after the reality engine himself. Flashing back to Talia's hidden base last issue, we learn of her connection to the Orgums. Prince Arzen's father was from the desert nomads, and his mother from the cities, and she plotted against his father once Arzen was born, sending him on a fatal mission to retrieve her people's lost city, with his bodyguard, Ra's al Ghul, instructed to assassinate him. In the present, Arzen's mother Daria meets with her mother in Svastral, in the Orgum Royal Palace. The Orgum grandmother has a glowing crystal stuck in her skull, giving her prophetic powers, and she hears her death coming in the shape of Vandal Savage. We flash back to Talia's tale as Arzen's father finds the city, slaughtering its guards, then learning the secret that the city was lost on purpose to prevent its great magical treasure from being used for evil. In the present, Vandal Savage rips the prophecy crystal from the Orgum grandmother's skull, killing her, then leaves, promising to meet the Orgum family in their final battle in Gotham. Talia's tale ends, and she says her father stole the creation of the Lazarus Pits from the Lost City after killing Arzen's father and betraying Daria, passing the Al Ghul Orgum feud to his daughter. Talia warns Bruce he will need to choose between the monster bat and the human man. In Gotham, Bruce fights the Orgum soldiers in the sewers as Prince Arzen begins the ceremony with the reality engine. So, this is just me being salty. Did the advertisement for the Vigil affect this issue at all?
No, but that's because I've had my mind on other things for 2 weeks and I forgot about almost everything related to Batman. So, yeah. No, it was fine. Didn't. I mean, a little bit at the beginning because I was reminded of our discussion and how we're just kind of upset that Batman just seems to be reacting to things and how that hasn't really changed. So it wasn't so much that I was reminded about the Vigil. It was just I was reminded about how much I didn't like the last issue for many reasons.
No, I wasn't expecting it to be any type of follow-up. I mean, it's not the first time DC has done these, advertisement for other series that are coming out. I still go back to Urban Legends and the Batgirl story that we were all excited to read, only to see that it was an advertisement for a person that wasn't even in the comic series. It was a TV show, so.
Mm-hmm.
And then that character never showed up again. Oh my goodness, I don't understand almost anything that DC did with her. Yeah, I was irritated that Ram V decided to do that. I understand why, but that really belonged in the backup. If he really wants to launch the Vigil off of Detective Comics, he should have arranged with editorial to have the backup be the Vigil story and put the Mr. Freeze story on pause or something.
Or wait.
Yeah. Or tell Cy Spurrier to tell his story in 2 backups, but that gets into my criticisms of the backup, so we'll save that for a few minutes. I apologize. I do feel slightly overly salty today, but what do you think about the fact that we have 3 artists again?
Oh, I think they meshed well.
Yes.
I hardly noticed, and I think because there's so many flashbacks and stuff, it works well.
I don't know if I will go that far. I was a little thrown off because it seemed, and maybe it's because the styles are so close, but it seemed like one artist who was doing a flashback ended up doing the regular story as well. So it was enough to see the difference between them, even though the styles were similar. But I was not highly a fan. Having 2 artists is fine, but I mean, if you need 3 artists, you might as well have an anthology.
Yeah, this is DC's longest running Bat book. It's generally selling pretty well. I mean, not like spectacularly, but it sells really well. I don't understand why they wouldn't have the budget to pay one of these artists to do a whole arc. That's my problem. It's not that I dislike any of the artists. I agree completely with Steph that they're all meshing well together. Especially, I'd say Pansica and Rhys are meshing really well together. But why? It's a monthly book. We're not double shipping. If you need to let an artist get caught up, you clearly have enough artists. Have someone do a fill-in. Have someone do a fill-in issue, and just have one arc, the whole arc with maybe one fill-in issue. This piecing together artists and these multi-layered narratives. You don't need multiple artists to do multi-layered narratives. You could do multi-layered narratives with one artist. I mean, Tom King did that with Clayman, and you might not like Batman Catwoman because of its triple timeline, and I think that it was unnecessary. But you don't need multiple artists for that. I'm just really frustrated that DC is not spending the money and taking the time to make this book a consistent art team. Even though I like all of the art teams they're putting on it. I don't dislike any of them. I think it's baffling. It does not make sense.
Well, I wonder if it has any relation to what you and I kind of spoke about last episode, where I was speaking with someone who has done some work at DC, and the comment that was given to me was that the only way you would get some real work and real money at DC is if you are doing 3, 4, 5 projects for them at one time. And, that's, unless you are on an exclusive contract, that's, for an artist, that's near impossible. I mean, we complain already about how doing such a thing affected the quality of work Joshua Williamson did when he was doing so much and is on the verge of doing again. But
why, Josh Williamson? I like all the projects you're on. I don't want them to suck like they did last time.
I wonder if that's coming into play. In that DC is giving these artists shorter page counts to pay them less.
Yeah, I think that is. I mean, because Rhys at least is he's an A-list artist, so I'm sure he commands a strong pay rate. But this is, as I said, this is Detective Comics. If there's any book that can pay for Ivan Rhys, it's Detective Comics.
Yeah, there are certain books at DC that you should just bite the bullet for. The Trinity and their titles.
Well, Wonder Woman doesn't sell enough to justify it, but she should.
She's not selling well? Oh, that sucks.
She's never sold well, except at the beginning of Rebirth and at the beginning of the New 52. She doesn't sell well.
That sucks. Well, I will still say that the Trinity should be an exception, being that they're the Trinity.
It feels really odd to me that Batman said at the end of last issue that he wanted to sort of take it slow and do his research and plan his campaign. And now all of a sudden he's like, nope, fight. Did that sort of feel jarring to you guys as you read this issue?
Sigh. It was a little weird, and I didn't quite understand from the story what it changed his plans. It was just just very confusing. Like, didn't he know about the reality engine before? I felt like he did, but maybe he didn't.
It depends on whether you think that Bruce knew about the reality engine in the annual as a time traveler.
Yeah, that's the only thing I could have thought of. It makes me wonder if we had a lot of off-paneling going on.
I mean, we have had a lot of off paneling going on in this run.
Yeah, because I don't know. It's just the whole thing was confusing. I mean, are we going to talk about the elephant in the room later?
I don't know. It depends on if your
Which
elephant is the
elephant
same.
is that?
Yeah.
The savage elephant.
Oh no, that's a question. We'll
Okay.
get to it.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
well, before we get to that elephant, can we talk about my elephant?
Well, who's
Go
your
for it.
elephant?
Okay, so my elephant is the whole Bruce Talia thing. Is it me or now? I've been saying from the get go when Sadowski and Romby were first announced that they were prepping us for a get together with Bruce and Talia, and it seemed for some reason they didn't pull the rug from under us. With Talia basically saying, "This is why you and I
never be together."
Yeah, this is why you and I can't be." Did anybody else get that feeling?
I don't remember them setting them up to be that way, but yeah, it did seem a little weird that she was like hanging around, being all flirty, kissy face at the beginning.
And then
she's like, "This is why we can never be together." I was like, Talia would never say that. Whatever. It's all weird.
That it is.
Did you guys read the War World Saga on the Action Comics title?
Nope.
So I've only read pieces of it, and it seems cool, but fundamentally, War World Saga felt like Philip Kennedy Johnson, who's the writer on Action Comics, really wanted to tell a dark fantasy Conan the Barbarian story. And he got Superman instead. So he told the dark fantasy Superman the Barbarian story. This, to me, feels like Rom V wanted to tell a Talia fights the Orgum story, but he got Batman instead. So he's telling a Talia and the Orgums fight, and Batman is there for it. And I'm not saying that these stories can't work and that they're bad stories. I do think that it is there is a sense that sometimes writers are either good at or want to do something different than the books they're hired to do. And I've been saying for quite a while that I think Rom V has chosen the wrong approach, the wrong points of view for this Detective comic story. And I think that's partly because he doesn't really want to tell a Batman story.
That could be. Yeah, because this just really doesn't feel like a Batman story. These aren't things Batman would do. It's just...
It's almost like an Arabian Nights story. You know, you've got your two rival bands of immortal assassins fighting each other across history.
3.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, how do you feel about these retcons to Ra's al Ghul's origin story? It feels like we've gotten a ton of those recently.
Oh, I don't mind. Well, is it really a retcon?
I mean, it feels a little weird that Ra's starts as like just a bodyguard to a prince when the last time we saw a flashback, it was in the Robin story.
Yeah.
And he was like already leading and he had his wife and Mother Soul.
Yeah.
And like, it just feels weird to have him start in this subservient position.
I was okay with it just because, like, Roz has lived so long. He's probably done a lot of things. That was fine. I was fine with it.
I was not, because again, student of history. And again, remembering the story we got in Robin, it just seems to completely take away from that, because it seemed as if at this point in Detective, what's going on right now is that Roz hasn't got his immortality yet.
No, because he steals the secret of the Lazarus Pit from the city.
Right. And then in the Robin story, he's totally against the Lazarus Pit until, and it's actually Mom who finds, the Lazarus Pit and knows the secrets of it because of the story, the about
The demon, right?
yeah, and I don't know. I was not crazy about that.
It to me it feels like it makes Roz a bit player in someone else's story. It feels, and this is one of the big criticisms that people talk about when they use the term Mary Sue. And I both am and am not accusing Ram V of making the Orgums into villain Mary Sues. But it's like this vast mythology, and he's making Batman and Batman's villains like side characters in his own mythology, and that
Yeah.
doesn't feel right to me. Like Roz stealing the Lazarus Pit from someone else's story doesn't feel like Roz to me. Now I need to reread Birth of the Demon, Denny O'Neil's own origin for Roz. It's been a long time, and I don't really remember that story, but it doesn't jive with the character that Denny O'Neil and Josh Williamson, like in the Robin story. Like it does not feel consistent with the way they position Roz. And Chuck Dixon did a lot of good Roz stories, and like Detective and Legacy and all those things. Like Roz is this titanic figure, and reducing him to some bodyguard who steals the secret from someone else, and that's how he became Roz. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't sit right with me.
It doesn't jive.
But I think that's on par with what we're saying about the story, is that there's no POV. Like,
yeah, it goes from place to place all the time.
But like not in an organized way. Like lots of shows and stories are done from different point of views, and that's fine, but we're still following narratives. And this is just
all over the place.
Wackadoo. Like, we're even talking about there maybe being another Bruce who doesn't seem to remember any of this, who was in the past. Like, I don't know.
It's a chore. It's truly a chore, and I'm not enjoying it.
I mean, I am still enjoying the title. I just find myself continually salty about things that could have made it better. Like, this is an enjoyable read, but it doesn't feel like a classic read. And I'm worried that it'll become like a keystone of lore, and I'd rather it become more like a side story, just because I don't like this kind of retcon for Roz. I just don't like it. All right, let's get to that elephant in the room. Vandal Savage. We're at the end of the second arc of this story, and we have a massive figure from DC Universe history just pumping in, doing a lot of damage, and clearly becoming a major player. How does that feel to you?
I'm so confused. Like, I barely can hang on to the narrative as it is, with the two warring factions and why they were warring and why suddenly this dude is sitting on treasure and and then suddenly Randall Savage, and I was like, I don't understand. Am I stupid? I don't feel stupid. I don't know.
It's just so
And then
clunky.
why does the lady have a glowing stone in her head? Why did Randall take it? What's he been doing with it for 300 years? Like,
The glowing stone gives you prophetic powers.
so why hasn't Randall been using it for 300 years or however long it is?
No, is
Well,
it
the lady had it.
the mom?
Yeah, the grandmother had it.
Oh, this is present. Is this present?
Yeah,
Oh,
this
and that's
is
another
present.
thing that was
This is
confusing. Is when are things happening? Because, yeah, it is now. So Randall's stealing. Okay, fine. Whatever. It's still confusing. Whatever.
Yep,
And why are they all
there's-
living so long? Anyway.
Yeah, we're talking like multiple thousands of years for all of the characters except Batman in this book. It's like ridiculous.
Yeah.
Is it me, or when Vando took the stone out of Mom's head, because it's the Queen's mother, right? Right.
Yep.
Okay. So when he goes and he takes the stone from Mom's head, the Queen, is it me, or did it look like she started to age really quickly? Or was that just the difference in the artist throughout the book?
Well,
it was
I
just-
sort of read that as being he rips it out of her
Yeah.
skull and takes some
Yeah.
of the bone with it, so her
No,
face
no.
collapses because the skull's not holding it together.
Not the mom, the Queen herself.
Oh, the daughter. I didn't notice that.
It looked
I
like,
think-
and again, maybe it's because of the different styles in the art, but for some reason, after he takes the stone and he walks up to the queen. She looks really old.
I mean, this whole arc has played with age in weird ways, and the multiple artists have not made it easy to figure out what's going on.
It's so clunky.
And I'm going to say something else about that when we get to the backup.
So clunky. I hate to say that reading Detective Comics is a struggle, but it is really a struggle sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd say it's a struggle, but this is not going on my top Detective Comics lists anytime soon. And I feel like I'm the one who's enjoying this title the most of the three of us.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think you might
we're
be
not
right.
rating yet?
I think you're right, Theo. Because her skin is like super, super smooth. And then suddenly
I thought
she's
that was
really
a mask.
wrinkly. It could be a mask, but she's got the same markings on her face.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. It's weird. There's a lot of unexplained stuff that happens.
And then all of a sudden, it's like she just turns her mom's age.
I think I do remember thinking, wow, all of a sudden she looks older. It is weird. There's a lot of weird stuff going on. Plus, I think Vandal coming out of nowhere is a very unsettling pacing choice. I don't like it. I don't see why you couldn't have included a hint of him earlier.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, why do you need him? Considering the organs is supposed to be...
I mean,
you would think the organs were the super big bad in all of this, but
to be fair, we're only a third of the way through the overall story. So we're almost to like the Orgum's endgame, in my opinion. In my read of the story, the Orgums are almost done with their plan. So in order to keep the story going for 2 more arcs, which I think is roughly what we're looking at, you got to throw like a bomb in the mix.
Steph, you're not excited for that?
2 more arcs.
Yep, at least. Because this is Act 1, and usually we're looking at a 3-act structure. So we've got Act 2 and Act 3 coming up.
Bah. Maybe I can go back to
All
Japan.
Right. Can I get to the backup, or do we have last thoughts on the main story?
The music box is back. They're talking about that song again that I keep forgetting about.
Yeah, it's the reality engine.
No, is it?
I think so.
No. The reality engine looks different.
I think it's the reality engine.
I don't think it was the reality. I don't know.
Because he drops the reality engine. And it's like...
No. The music box at the very end when he's playing for Arzon.
Was that the reality engine? Hold on.
Well, Batman
I think
has
that's
it.
the reality engine.
Batman has it, though.
He does?
Yeah.
Maybe there's multiple. Wait. I thought.
No. The box Batman has.
Stole it from Batman. No.
No, the box Batman has is the box that. Yeah, those are 2 different boxes. I don't think that's the reality engine. The reality engine is. Hold on.
Also,
if you're looking at
random recommendation.
Uh-oh.
Everyone should read New Gotham by Greg Rucka, because that's how you do a Ra's al Ghul Ancient Assassins plot with Batman still being the main character.
What are you saying, Theo?
I don't know. What was I saying?
The reality engine
music boxes
versus music box.
Yeah, I don't think that's the reality engine. I think... See, I'm gonna have to go. See, you're gonna make me go and look for the annual. I don't think that the music box, but the music box is not the reality engine. The music box, if you go back to the beginning of this overall story, where Maestro is explaining to Batman how this dark music works and that it has the ability to activate things. I am pretty sure that what's his name has an asthma in him as well. I'm pretty sure Arzon has something in him as well that the
Well, his
music.
face does sort of light up with stripes.
Yeah, that the music box, the dark music, activates within him.
Could be, could be.
Yeah, I don't think that's the reality engine, though.
I mean, we'll have to wait to see because obviously we don't know. But my theory is it's the reality engine, but it could be something else. We will find out. All right. Our backup, Absolute, Part 3 of 3, written by Simon Spurrier, art by Casper, I want to say Weingard, but I could be wrong because there's a J in there. Gordon's lost boy, also sometimes called Sorrow, helps Dr. Mead free of Mr. Freeze's ice, and she screams, "Behind you," as Freeze attacks. As they fight, Dr. Mead gets free and yells at them to stop, holding a grenade to make Freeze stop. She lectures Freeze and kicks him in the fork, but Freeze says the machine isn't for his wife, but for himself, to try to make himself more worthy of his wife, then freezes them out of his lab. The boy leads Dr. Mead to the surface as Mr. Freeze finds the convergence of the mystical energies he's been tracing at Arkham. Okay, what do you think of the conclusion?
I loved it because she goes off on Freeze and how stupid he is and how stupid everyone is and how she said to save herself. And I was like, yeah, you go, girl. This whole story was stupid. You call it out. And even when he like justifies himself, it's like, this is you're dumb. You're dumb. You're dumb. And I love that.
She called him dumb.
He's a narcissist. He's a bleepity bleep narcissist.
I don't know. If there is any saving of this story, is that it somehow gives Freeze somewhat of a redemption. He's still maniacal, despite his claim not to be. To use what's Dr. Mead as a guinea pig. But I don't know, considering how he was given this redemption arc early on in Detective doing Tomasi's run, and he kind of does it again even in this arc when he, Batman, and Wolfman are down in the sewers in the sewers of Gotham. This again, he's only doing what he wants to do because he wants to be better. Again, it's because of the love of his wife. And you got to remember, I'm the person that enjoyed Freeze's One Bad Day story as well. So,
but he's still doing horrible things.
Yep, villains do that.
So wait a minute. Did you like this or not?
I didn't say I liked it. I just said it was okay. It's somewhat of a redemption story for Freeze and some rationale for him to do what he did.
So I agree with Theo on that part, but I'm going to say this. I hated this story. I hated it so much. And if it were just the Doctor yelling at Mr. Freeze, I could probably sort of get on board with it, although I really don't like how just snotty and arrogant she is. But here's the thing. She is a jackass to the boy, and the boy is doing nothing but help her.
That's true.
That is so ungrateful. That is such a dick move by her. And I hate this story because of that. I hate it so much. Because what did the boy do? He needs deodorant. That's not... You don't get to be a jerk to her, to him, because he is probably super old and doesn't know about deodorant. That's ridiculous. Oh, I'm so mad.
No need to ask how you really feel.
I might have to degrade my rating for this issue. There seems to be hints that Dr. Mead has been de-aged. So she's 40 years old, but like... Everyone keeps saying, "Are you really 40?" And she looks really young in the art, but I don't remember her looking older in the first part of the arc.
I don't either.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like going back and look. Sorry.
Well, that's another thing. I also don't feel like going back to check. but it just felt weird. And the whole thing about Earworm was completely dropped. He shows up in one panel and then like not at all. Like what is going on with that?
Because Earworm was a asthma demon. I keep saying it was my thought that he was an asthma demon that looked like an ice monster only because she was trapped in the ice.
But asthma demons are defeated by ice.
True.
Maybe he's an evolved asthma demon.
I don't know. And but remember,
a mutant asthma demon.
because remember, that's what led Nero there, and he's going to be Nero until they give him a real name.
Mm-hmm.
But that led Nero to the tunnels because he in the end excised that demon from her. So Earworm is gone now, in my opinion.
Okay, but it just feels like it's resolved almost off panel land to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. This story, I hate it. I hated it so much. I'm very angry about it.
I agree with you. I'm not as angry as you.
Okay. So, any other thoughts about the backup before we get to our ratings?
I like the art.
I did like the art. Yeah, it's cute. It's appealing.
Better than the main story. Sorry. Yep, I said it. I said it.
It's more consistent than the main story. Take on editors.
And maybe that's
All
it.
right. Out of what should I say? Out of 5 skull crystals, what do you give Detective Comics
gosh.
1071?
With room to adjust as I reread, which I will do someday eventually. 2.
Wow.
Two skull crystals.
I really want to say that this book was just average, which would denote a 2.5. But I don't know. I don't care. Ian gets his mode. I'm gonna give it a 2 as well.
Woohoo!
I really want to join you in a 2, but I rated it 3 on the website, and so I cannot change that. So
Oh yes, you can. I did.
Yeah, you can.
Yes, we make the rules here.
Because you can, like, I've come on sometimes with a review ready, and then after talking to you guys, I'm like, no, forget that. This was awesome. Or, no, you know what? This actually was terrible.
All right, well, I'm doing it. It's a 2. This is not a good book.
Yeah.
I did not. The backup really dragged it down for me. I think if it were just the main story and maybe just the art for the backup, it would still be a 3. But just going through it and realizing just how upset I was, it's a 2. No.
A whole point. There you go, Ian. And we're
all right, guys.
We're unanimous. How about
Time for Greater Gotham.
Wait, no. So the mode is 2, and the average is 2, and the overall is 2.
That's
and
right.
the book sucks. And I'm sorry, Ramvi. I think you're a very good writer. I think that this is a mismatch between writer and book.
I agree. Yeah. And I think, if this was another story, well, I probably wouldn't read it. But
But let's say that it was like a graphic novel, like The Adventures of the Orgums and the Al Ghuls or something. Or like not Al Ghuls, so it wouldn't be Batman at all. Like, and we were in the mood for like an Arabian Nights type story. It could be cool. It could be really cool seeing like that.
But I think a large portion of our displeasure is just at Batman's role in this. And so if you took him out of the story, not take him out, I would be less judgmental and more open to just reading this as a story. Because it really, he just feels shoehorned in, is the thing.
Yeah, and he takes up a ton of time not doing a whole lot.
Yeah.
So let me ask this question as we near what is supposed to be the first act. And it's an honest question. And of course, because there's so much left, there's time to change. But at this point, any regrets on Ramvi being a writer?
For detective or just in general?
Oh, no, strictly for detective.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, I will say I'd rather have this than some of the other people they've put on deck. And that includes Tomasi, as much as I love him. And I think that's unfortunate because like we were so excited about Tomasi, mainly because everyone else sucked. But
it's because we just came off of freaking James Robinson.
Oh God.
Oh yeah. But
James Robinson
I was excited and he failed. And then Tamaki was so wonderful.
Tamaki was really good.
And Ramvi was so good on Catwoman, even though that wasn't fully my jam. I still definitely appreciated it more than Teenie Howard. But
again, low bar, but he was actually really good. I think that runs really good.
He was really good. And yeah.
But the thing is, he clearly wanted to tell a Catwoman story. Like, he had a bunch of original characters, but it was still focused around Catwoman. She was the actor. She was the one who drove the plot. Batman's not driving anything.
I wonder if Ramvi came to editorial or whatever and was like, hey, I have this story idea. And they're like, no, we're not going to do that as an original. But you can do it in Batman.
Yeah, put Batman in there.
In tech, and then you can do it. It's like,
God, that would suck. But then again, that I wouldn't put it past editorial doing that anyway.
Because again, it's not poorly. Well, no, that's not true. It's not poorly written. I think it's poorly constructed, and Batman doesn't fit.
Yeah. There's a lot of really well done pieces. I just don't think it coheres into a whole.
Yeah.
And maybe he'll surprise us. Maybe he'll do that thing and tie it all together, and we'll be like, oh, and our minds will be blown.
Yeah, like I said,
that would be really cool.
Yeah, there's room for improvement, but right now I'm not on board. I am not. It's
yeah.
When I feel a story, when I feel a title is a chore to get through, I'm not happy. And again, being a Batman fan, it saddens me, especially after the greatness we just got off with Tamaki, to see the book fall as much as it has, in my opinion, in quality.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, back when Tamaki was on the book, Detective was one of the first books I would read every week. I would just be like, I really want to know. It's really engaging. And here I'm just like, I'll get to it when I have to.
See, I read it first to just get it over with.
See, but again, it's to get it over with.
Yeah,
it's like, that's not what we want.
Yeah.
Whether you are a first-time TBU Comics podcast listener, a 13-year veteran, or anything in between, we'd love to hear what you think about this episode or any of the comics we discussed. Send emails to tbu@thebatmanuniverse.net. Join our Discord server linked at thebatmanuniverse.net. Send us a tweet at TBU_comics. Or, if you're a patron, leave us a comment on our Patreon page. We'd also love it if you left us a review on iTunes. We'd love to read your comments on the next episode of the Batman Universe Comics Podcast. Batman may claim he works alone, but we know that he needs the Bat Family. Join the TBU Bat Family and let us know what you think.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to Greater Gotham. Starting with Nightwing number 103.
I gotta pull up my stuff. Oh, Theo, was it
up,
Jezebel Jet? Was it Jezebel Jet that had you so excited?
The rest of the issue could have totally, absolutely sucked. It is still 2 thumbs way up, just because my girl made an appearance posthumously.
She got a mention.
She made. Why is Jezebel Jet your girl?
Well, I always talk about Jezebel, and
He always talks about Jezebel.
Yeah,
but why? She's not even a character. She's a plot device.
And she's a plot device in this one.
And she's a plot, and she's the plot device in this one, as she is the mother of Blockbuster's daughter. And
she's dead. So yeah, thumbs up for me too.
Ian, I don't know, Ian. I was hoping that you would have taken my hint, that you would at least looked at the page.
I actually did read this book. I thought I was having to abstain because I didn't remember, but I'm going to go neutral because I don't really remember that much, but I do remember reading the Jezebel Jet stuff.
Yep. They mentioned Jezebel, and as soon as they did that, I like, yeah, big old smile came across my face. I said, Ian has got to know about this one.
All right. Batman, Superman, World's Finest, number 14.
Thumbs up. It was a cute story. I love it. It's only the second part of the story, y'all. In fact, but it's yeah, but you should read it. It's good.
Is it connected to anything now? No.
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 It's just everyone being cute, drawn by Dan Mora.
Dan Mora remains the biggest reason that I would potentially read this book.
Potentially,
It's
which
fine.
means
There's nothing horrible in it. Like there's some books we read that I'm just like miserable, and this one is a delight.
So this isn't Future State Gotham
Future
so
State
bad
Gotham.
I gotta read it.
No. This is delightful.
Oh my goodness. But you loved that book for no good reason.
But I acknowledged it was terrible. This is delightful. You should read Batman Superman.
Fair. I'm abstaining. I don't know if Theo read this or not.
Oh, come on now.
Join me.
Now, here's a title I don't think you should join me for. Catwoman number 54.
I lost brain cells reading this. Thumbs down.
Correct. This book makes no sense. It's beyond stupid.
Why did she break out of prison when she has legal precedence for being released? I don't understand.
Wait, what?
Oh, it's so dumb.
Everything in this book makes very little sense or aggressively makes anti-sense. It's thumbs down.
I didn't understand a thing that happened in this book.
I understand sort of like the idea of what she's doing. She's trying to set up her own like league of thieves.
Yeah.
But it's so stupid and implausible.
Yeah, it's stupid. Yeah.
Until Ian tells me it's safe to read.
No, it's not.
Nope.
It's
not worth reading. It's not worth reading. Batgirls number 17.
I skimmed it and tried to read it while I was talking to you this afternoon or this evening, so I didn't really catch what was going on. It didn't look as silly as the early books, so probably neutral.
I read it somewhat, and I'm going to give it a neutral only because of the action from Cass. That's all.
So this continues to be a thumbs up for me.
Oh, good.
It's an odd choice, and actually, if you want more expanded thoughts from me, check out this week's Batgirl to Oracle, because I guest starred in that episode with Stella and did my thoughts for like 45 minutes on the title.
45 minutes. Wait. How long is this episode? Is it?
They're about 2 hours long.
About 2 hours? Okay, that's not bad for Stella.
Yeah. Well, the first half is all about the Stephanie Brown as Robin arc, and then the second half is about Batgirls. And we talk a lot about politics, which I didn't realize we were going to do, but we did. All right. But anyway, thumbs up. I thought there was a lot of nuance, and I thought Steph and Cass had really good stuff. I still wish that Babs was more of a part of the book because I wanted a 3 Batgirls team up book. But, it's what we have, and I enjoy it. Deceased War of the Undead Gods, number 8, final issue. Deceased is done.
Sobbing, sad, distraught thumbs ups.
That's a very strange way to do thumbs up.
Damien just sacrifices himself for all of life in the universe. I almost said humanity, but it's all of the life in the universe. In this last moment, nobody's Batman.
What? No, you have to have a Batman.
There's no Batman.
No one's Batman.
There's a universe. There's a Batman universe. There's a true Batman universe now.
He spends his last moments with John, just sitting next to him, and Alfred, and this is so sad.
Yeah, it's 2 thumbs up for me as well, but I probably would kick Tom Taylor and the Johnson for killing off Damien. I was not happy with that, especially considering the relationship he and Cassie developed. If there was ever a way for this universe to continue on Page, I would really like to see those two go on.
But I feel like giving your life to save everyone is the most Batman thing you could do. And I just feel like that was a good sacrifice and that was a good ending.
And I think there was a point where Oliver basically said it. Because remember when Oliver was talking to Damien and he basically acknowledged that Oliver had some type of premonition, because as Oliver was supposedly talking about Bruce, doing, sacrificing himself and dying, being the most Batman thing he could do, he was staring directly at Damien.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Honesty compels me to say that I abstain. However, the fact that Tom Taylor killed off Stephanie Brown and then promised to resurrect her, at least deal with the possibility of resurrecting her, means that I give this entire project a thumbs down. Go become a zombie, Tom Taylor.
Like I mentioned on the server, a book could win 10 Eisers, 10 Ringos, and just be a New York Times bestseller. You diss the Stephanie, and it is a total failure for Ian Miller.
That is not wrong. Harley Quinn number 29.
Neutral. It wasn't as disastrous as the last one, but I'm not digging it.
I abstain because I don't want to make myself read another Teeny Howard book.
You're not missing out on anything.
I am kind of sad. I kind of meant to read the backup because it's by Adam Warren, and I really like Adam Warren. But
nope. You didn't miss anything on that one either. Nope.
Okay.
It was disturbing. It was disturbing AF, and I don't use that often.
Listen to Steph. Steph is wise.
Listen to me.
Steph is wise. One should listen to her about most things.
Okay, I've got 3 words for you. Okay, sexy furries. Blah.
What?
Was blah the third word?
Blah is the third word. They were sexy furries in the backup.
Okay,
So
I don't need that in my life. I don't need that in my life.
Wait, what story are we talking about again? This is
the Harley Quinn backup.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't even know what you're talking about since I don't read that.
Yeah.
All right. Yep. So, speaking of books that maybe we shouldn't be reading, Tim Drake Robin number 8.
Neutral, because the art was tolerable and the book wasn't as vomit-inducing as the last story.
Vomit-inducing. I will probably only read the last issue just to see how we're mercifully put out about misery.
What's the last one? 12?
10. It doesn't
10.
Even.
My prediction was 12, and I was like, "Oh, I'm wrong," but I've never been happier.
So until
this is thumbs down. This issue is terrible. The art was great, but that makes me matter because it means they wasted a great artist on this Drek. It's full of cliches and stupidity, and I'm just sitting here being like, why has Tim Drake been eaten by an alien parasite and is walking around in a skin suit? I am so sick of this.
Who's the artist?
I can't say his name. It's something that sounds Czech, but he did the Azrael miniseries, which I really like. That's 2 great artists that they've wasted on this book. Oh, why they put Tom Derenick on it? Okay. All right. Ending on hopefully a slightly more positive
I've read
note.
3 more.
Wait, what?
I read The Riddler Year 1, Ruby DC,
how was that?
and Silent Tears. Okay. Riddler Year 1 is a neutral because I have no clue what's going on because the art is so avant-garde that I don't understand what's going on. And there wasn't a lot of talking. But it's this one was mostly flashbacks to when Riddler was a kid and how Bruce was viewed in his eyes, and kind of like how he
So
never
we're
got a
still
leg up.
stuck on the Batman Forever Riddler origin.
Yeah. And then DC Ruby was another neutral. I would recommend this book if you are a younger kid, like tween to early teen, and you are just getting into comics. I think this is a good story because it's very generic, very uninteresting, and a good way to get started reading comics. But I feel like it would be entertaining to someone without much taste. But so said that, it's a neutral for me. And then Silent Tales. Are we doing Silent Tales together?
Yep, that's our last one.
I tried.
Thumbs down. I thought it would be good. It looked cute. The art is really cute, but like the stories, I didn't follow half of them. And I didn't like them. I wanted to enjoy this. I saw that it was the textless story, and I was like, wow, that'll be so fun. And it wasn't. It wasn't fun. I didn't enjoy it. Thumbs down.
Same here. I tried to get into it, but it usually you can go through and read a silent story and get the gist of what the story is. Case in point, as much as I hated Batgirls 14 was a great read in silence. Jamal Campbell's silent story in Batman Black and White. No words, yet still a wonderful, graceful story. This, I just, no.
I have made a terrible mistake.
What?
I thought Silent Tales was reasonably cute, and I will give it a neutral, but I don't disagree that it is not as fun as I think it should have been.
Like the gags, I feel like just missed the mark, and if I got them, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think you guys are wrong. I was hoping to end on a more positive note because we had a ton of. I should have put DC's last because you guys like that one, and I didn't read it. Even though I still give it a thumbs down because you killed Steph and you didn't, and you ignored her. Failure.
But everyone was cured, so I think Steph might have been okay at the end. But we didn't see that. We don't know for sure.
You must at least say it. It cannot happen in off-panel land. All right. So that brings us to the end of Greater Gotham, and now we have a bunch of listener feedback from the Discord.
Caspian73 says, I'm way behind, but I agree with Steph's opinion that detective covers hype up the book too much. About Detective 1070, the issue 50 reference feels kind of out of date because Batman and Catwoman are supposed to have reconciled and gotten together during City of Bane, disregarding Tiny's forced separation. So it feels like a character regression reset for Batman. I actually like 1070 more because it actually developed the enticing incident/history with the Orgums and Raws. And as for the art issues, I think it's just an industry thing. Tom King said in a podcast that he's moving away from 12-issue minis because DC can't find A-list artists who can commit to keeping the monthly schedule. His next books are Penguin and Wonder Woman, which are ongoings, presumably with rotating artists past the first arc. I also agree with Steph that writers work well with Grundy, Killer Croc, and Clayface. And I agree that the trio with Ram V's Batman is kind of weak/incompetent compared to Bat God interpretations. That wasn't a question. I made that a question. The amount of times he's been knocked out, he was knocked out even last issue, so 1069, and the amount of times it's taken him to investigate the Orgums. And yep, the Vigil took up valuable real estate of this issue of a run that has already been decompressed. At least they recapped the reality engine thing in a way that made sense to me. Like, Tom King's writing a Penguin book and a Wonder Woman book? Or is he writing a Penguin and Wonder Woman book?
Tom King is writing one Penguin book and one Wonder Woman book.
Because
separate books.
There was that Penguin Catwoman love story.
Yes, but that was Danny DeVito, not Tom King.
Okay. I just want to make sure. Because you never know.
You do never know.
especially with Tom King. Yeah, it was a good comment, and I'm glad he agrees with a lot of stuff. Because I feel like, we got a comment on the podcast server a while ago. It was a while ago. But that, like, we were negative Nancy's and we hate comics. And that is not true. We just don't like bad comics. And that's what we feel like we've been getting. If you listen to every other episode where we talk about Batman, we're like happy-go-lucky fun times. Because it's great. Anyway, thank you for being on our side, Caspian73.
Indeed.
Indeed.
And Caspian often has very good comments as we're talking about other comics that don't make it on the podcast. So join our Discord and talk to other people. We're cool folk.
We're cool folk. Well, at least we're fun. Dele Queso? Ooh, is that like fancy queso? Anyway, Dele Queso says, I just finished the most recent comic podcast this morning. I listened to it. Hold on. I listened to like the last 5 all in a row since I am so behind on some of the books and I have been meaning to read. Really good work as always. Oh, thank you. I also throw my 2 cents in about Detective Comics right now because I finally got caught up, but I'm actually liking it. But I think being able to read like 6 issues all at once really helps not feel too slow. This arc is going to work much better in trade, I believe. However, totally agree that Batman really is slow on the uptake of this book and is not doing so great in terms of being able to hold his own, which is low-key getting really old, even if I am kind of obsessed with the concept behind the villain, Earworm, and I'm really liking Harvey in this book. I did really like Harvey in the book. That's the one thing I think the book did really well. That was Steph talking. That was me.
Yes. I agree. I feel like I'm the one who's enjoying Detective Comics the most. And I feel bad because I am very salty this episode. I still had a good time reading the book. I wasn't mad except when reading the backup. And I think there are just some pieces that are done spectacularly well that make me really wish that the rest of the book was as focused and coherent together, like all the pieces coming together. But I am very glad that people are enjoying it because I want people to enjoy comics.
Yeah.
Although I would rather them not enjoy Catwoman. That it can get canceled and someone else can write it.
I will only say I shouldn't have to wait till the 6th issue to come out in order to read and enjoy the book.
Yeah.
If that be the case, and I've said this before, if that be the case, just put it out as a graphic novel. Just put it out as an OGN. But if you're gonna do it weekly, but to put out something that's slow paced and it's a monthly book, that's a chore. And I don't enjoy it, and it's so unfortunate.
All right. Well, that brings us to the end of our podcast. Let me thank our patrons. Those who contribute at a certain level, we read your names out loud with a thank you. So, thank you to Lisa Slack, Donovan Morgan Grant, Austin Davis, Ian Miller, Stanton's Grave, Johnny McCloskey, Gerald Green, Donald Townsend, Cesar Diaz, Joshua Laffin Bertoni, Ed Grouse, Jessica Morales, Rob O, Captain America, David Richards, Tim Garassi, Mary Garrett, Robert Lewis, and Stephanie Mouse. Thank you all for helping us keep the servers up and all our archive podcast episodes on the interwebs. That is all.
Well, before we go, I do want to say, if you want to read a great Bruce Wayne villain story, you should check out episode 79 of Wayne Family Adventures on Webtoons, which is free and legally free. It's where they're released. Yes, Bruce has a PTA villain nemesis, and it's fantastic.
It is fantastic. And also check out my interview with the background artist for Wayne Family Adventures. It was a very fun little conversation.
And we just released our review for episode 79 through 81, and you should totally check it out.
Exactly.
Anyway.
All right.
I figured that way we could end on a positive note.
Oh, yeah. I should put Wayne Family Adventures in the Greater Gotham more often.
Totally.
Which means I need to catch up. I'm so behind.
Yeah.
You should. It's fun.
I'm so behind.
They don't take long.
Adventures. I'm behind with all of the webtoons. Why are you trying to cut me off? Ian, he's going.
He's
home.
just trying to go home.
Yeah, I'm going and cry in the corner.
To be fair, there's a delay.
So should I end now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you all for listening. That's it for this week. I've been your host, Ian.
This is Steph.
And this is highly pissed off, Theo.
Oh.
And hopefully next time we will be able to moll Theo's self.
We'll be able
I was gonna say cheerful self.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Is it me or has the last few episodes been really down?
Well, I mean, it's also that like this is the month that has, or this is the part of the month that has Tech and Catwoman and Harley Quinn
And Tim Drake Robin.
and Tim Drake Robin. Like it's just a bad week.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the good thing is some of that stuff is coming to an end, so we don't.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, yeah. Yeah. I have to read that. Here we go. Caspian. Oh, hold on. Let me make it bigger because that's something I struggle with and it's really far away. Boop, 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 boop.
That was Steph.
Oh my goodness.
Excuse me.